The first day of the month of Iyar, which is spelled Aleph Yud Yud Reish, has the abbreviation and the blessing of Ani Hashem Roifecha. I, God, I'm your healer. May God bring healing to each and every one of us. Yesterday we spoke about bris milah, but during circumcision, which also needs healing. And we mentioned the importance of the 8th day. Are there exceptions to that rule about the 8th day? Can it be done at another day? Let us first say chapter 124, the Rebbe's kapitel, where David HaMelech is thanking God for all the wonderful, wonderful protection that He is giving us. And we see it these days, how He's constantly protecting us. But please, make it ready that we shouldn't need that ongoing protection. It should be one big solution. Moshiach. Shir HaMalos LeDavid Lule Adonai Shoyelonu Yemanei Yisrael Lule Adonai Shoyelonu Bekum Aleinu Adam Azai Chaim Belonu B'Charoi Sampambona Azai Maim Shtefunu Nachlo Over Nafshena Azai Over Nafshena Maim Azidoinim Baruch Adonai Sholonu Senon Teref Leshonim Nafshena Ktziponim Leto Pach Yekshiba Pach Nishbo V'Nachne Nimlot Nezrein B'Shem Adonai Oisei Shomayim V'Oretz. And let us give some tzedakah. Excuse me. And looks like I have to empty the pushka. It is time to empty it. Okay, we will do so soon. So, going back to the discussion. Circumcision 8th day. Exceptions? Yes, there are exceptions. If the child is not well, jaundice, which happens very often, then obviously we postpone it until the doctor with the moihel, both experts, will find it's appropriate. The child is ready to have the bris milah. But here is a particular situation. A moihel gets a phone call. A moihel is the rabbi who does the circumcision. And an accredited moihel reputation. You want to make sure that you have a good moihel. Religious Jew, knows what he's doing. He gets a phone call from a father and says, would you please be willing to do the bris milah for my son? And the bris is going to take place this coming Sunday. The moel, with some experience, asks, and when was the baby born? Says the baby was born this past Thursday. So the moel says, but then the bris should be on the 8th day, which comes out to this Thursday. Yeah, but it's just not convenient. The guest cannot come on Thursday. It's more convenient to have it on a Sunday. The Moel tells him, but the Torah says, and on the 8th day, you should do the circumcision. You shouldn't postpone it if there's no reason. If there's no medical reason, one should not postpone it. He says, look, Rabbi, it's very simple. I am making the circumcision for my son on Sunday. Now you can either come and do the bris, which I would be very happy, but if you won't, then I'm going to have to look for a doctor, secular doctor, and he or she will do the bris. Now the moil is in a dilemma. If he accepts to do it on the Sunday, in other words, he condones an actually transgression of a direct biblical command of doing it on the 8th day. But if he refuses, then what's going to be? Then the child will not have a proper bris. Because if a bris is not done in a proper way, done by a doctor, not with the proper halachic approaches, then the bris is invalid. The child will be a whole life considered as if he didn't have a bris. So he's between as they say, between a hard rock and a whatever it is. What does he do? So here is an interesting response to that question, which many rabbis have received that question. Apparently one of the first ones is Reb Moshe Feinstein, great halachic authority. So he says the following. There's two things. There is the father and there's the child. The child deserves to have a proper bris, irrelevant of the father's foolishness that for convenience he doesn't want to do it in the right time. So from the child's perspective, that Moel should definitely do the bris on Sunday, while at the same time making the point clearly to the father and to the guest, for that matter, that what is happening is not really appropriate. And how would he do that? Says Reb Moshe, by refusing to receive any remuneration for doing the bris. The Moelim don't charge per se, but obviously you do give him something because it's a surgery, time, etc. So the father should refuse, the Moel, should refuse take money from the Moel so as to make the point that what he did was wrong. But the child is an innocent child and should get a good bris.